Say please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Hello YouTube and welcome back. It's yesterday's tomorrow and tomorrow's yesterday. Today we are working on something precariously perched. Without further ado, I have a trailer. And as you can see, we got to fix this tire rubbing issue and this fender clearance. This wheel over here rubbed for a brief second and then self-clearanced the fender and is broken. So if we look closely at this, there's actually a lot of spots on here that actually had zero weld holding them. There was zero weld here, zero weld there, tiny, like less than a 32nd of an inch here, about a 16th, and almost an 1/8. That was all that was holding this axle together. Say hi.
Hi.
And we got a little bit of gravel in the axle, so we step away from the trailer over here. Over here,
Okay.
step over here. What do you want to say? Say thanks for watching.
I got it. I'm gonna get a Paw Patrol squishy and a Palbers.
She likes Paw Patrol animals.
With
Say-
the crystals.
Say please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe. These two rocks out of the axle tube. And now we're ready to put it back together. We're also gonna have to replace this. There's literally no more bolt there. But anywho, we're gonna pull that wheel off over there to lighten it up a bit, and then we're gonna pull the rear of these springs so that will swing down, and then we're gonna undo this axle tube. We're gonna take that wheel off, and then we're gonna go into the shop and we're gonna put that on with a proper weld. My suspicion, I suppose, this is decently sturdy. I'm not gonna let my kid under it though. But my suspicion is this spindle right there has the exact same amount of weld holding it on. So we're gonna fix that. We may need to narrow the springs up a bit so that it's overcast, that's why it's so dark. We may need to narrow those springs up just a bit, cut the shackles off and move them in a 1/4 inch on either side so that we have enough space for that weld and these U-bolts to clamp on. I suspect they ground the weld all the way off in order to get those U-bolts on. So there is a possibility that we cut this and move that in till it's flush, like it's sticking out probably almost 3/8 of an inch right there, and the other side may be the same. So I'm gonna go grab an impact. We're gonna start disassembling, and good chance where this one got ground off when that broke off and hit the ground. This had 2 yards of gravel, which is like 5,800 pounds. I don't think I'll be able to get these, so I'm just gonna hack these U-bolts since they're trashed anyways on this side. So anywho, let's proceed. Tractor's running great. I did screw up one fuel line on it and I got to get that repaired. It leaks right off the top of the injection pump. Other than that though, I've got maybe 6 hours on it. I did borrow this from a company I used to work for, and I was trying to decide if I want to buy forks or if I want to build something different, and the conclusion I came to is both. So underneath here, slightly ran over, there's 2 quick attach plates there. So anyways, as time permits, we will be fixing the tractor up. So okay, it's down to that guy. Okay, well, the tractor just exploded. Look at that. Sprayed my kid's house, oil all over there. That line right there just exploded, which is interesting because that's actually the line going down. So, anywho, can you see that? Right there. There's a crack right there. So, that happened at not a great time, but there's definitely a worse time that could have happened. It just dumped half a gallon of fluid all over my kid's house. So, time to clean that up. So, we'll continue this repair on the tractor and that trailer. So I didn't catch it on camera, but I did finish moving that trailer around, and that brace held. Who knew? I'm not as dumb as I thought, but anywho, I'm pretty happy about that, pretty excited. So that brings us back to this axle. And so good axles have a crown to them. So they're peaked in the center. That way as they load, the center drops down. And if you will, as the center drops down, the wheels kind of come into parallel. So an empty axle, the wheels should have some camber, positive camber, or rake. I don't know the term. So at any rate, to make sure the axle's perfectly level, we want to make sure we have the exact same angle on both sides. This one says that the center of the axle is 0.0 or 0.8 degrees high, and this one says the center is 0.0 or 0.8 degrees high. So that means that I got the same pitch. So now what I can do is I can put a level on this face, and I should be able to, on the exact same side, on that side where it's broken off, I need to get to 89.1. I also do have some pretty good timing marks on here. I can see from the brake where the old one needs to go. So I'm gonna put it back onto where those marks line up, and I'm gonna tack it all the way around. Once it's tacked, I can grind between tacks and get all that crappy weld out, and I'll re-tack where I cleaned up for full penetration. Once I do that second set of tacks, I can grind out the original set, and that will allow me to get full penetration, the thickest possible weld, all the way around that hub or spindle. What I need to do is get that fitted up, just like I said, match up the brake so that gives me the right caster, if you will. There's no caster on this axle, but it'll make me match what that side's doing right there. I'm gonna get to that part. I'm probably gonna tack this in place with some 60-10 just because it's super easy to tack with. And then after that, like I said, I'll do all the grinding, and then it's actually gonna get welded out with 70-18. 70-18 is way stronger than MIG or anything else like that. And on an axle like this, you definitely want strength. Let's get to it. Ready? We've got 89.6, top tipped out by 0.4 of a degree. And we've got 89.6, top tipped out at 0.4 of a degree. So that's good. If we turn it perpendicular to that on both sides, we have 86, it'll settle into 1, 86.1 and 86.1. See, it settled in just, oh, it's bouncing back and forth. Somewhere around 0.05 of a degree out. Like I said, it's kind of back and forth on that. So, like I said, I got 3 tacks on there. I tacked it once, and I was out by 1.3 degrees. And so I marked it, broke the tack, and I just barely misaligned that mark, put it back in, and we're good. So I got to get a new battery in U, and then I'm going to take a grinder, like I said, and I'm going to grind this weld all the way out. And then this one also needs it. So we'll grind this weld out too and build it up bigger as well. Time to grind. We're going to get some earbuds in. We're back together. This is the side that wasn't broken, and I ground down into it and after about a 1/16 of an inch, I could actually see the separation line between the spindle and the axle. So I grounded out, welded it. Both of them have full penetration pass, and both of them have 3 passes above flush, I guess. 3 passes extra deep across the bottom, because this is the way the axle sits in the trailer. So as it loads, it's gonna push this way, which is gonna be pulling on that. And so before this can break, this needs to break, because this is technically under compression while that's under tension. This side is the one that broke. I got full penetration all the way around, and then once again 3 passes above flush. So realistically, as you could have seen before in the picture, there is less than a 1/16 of an inch of full weld all the way around, and I would guess across the bottom now there's more than a 1/4 inch, probably 5/16, maybe even 3/8 in certain spots. So anyways, I've got to go get the hardware, because as you recall, I had to cut everything off. So I need to go get 1 more plate and 4 U-bolts and 8 nuts. So I'm gonna run to the store. It's Saturday, so I don't know that I'll be able to find anything like that, but I'm gonna go check. To Cal Ranch we go. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. We're working on this little tiny heavy duty robust trailer. As you can see, the axle's back under there. You saw me weld that out. It's bolted in. And now the last of the carnage is this weld that had basically 0 penetration. So I did not build this. We all know I'm all about that penetration. So anyways, we're gonna clean this up a little bit, roll. I'm guessing I'm gonna use the Lincoln MP210 or 210 MP and just run a little 7018 up that. This side is the side of the axle that didn't break, and so its fender's fine. Like barely any clearance. Like you can see, it's only 1/2 inch there, maybe almost an inch here. If it was my trailer, I'd want more than that, but that's not my deal. We're gonna get that welder rolled out here, clamp that, weld that up, slap a little paint on her, and then I don't know if we'll load it with this attachment, or maybe we'll quickly make a receiver hitch attachment. Not fully build, but just slap some tube onto a quick attach plate, and then that way I can actually roll this trailer onto my trailer and I can go drop it off. I would just take this by itself, but the direction I got to drop this off, just a second, Jojo. The direction I got to go to drop this off is halfway to my next stop, and I need my trailer at the next stop after that. So I don't really want to drive 30 miles out of the way. So we're gonna roll this on my trailer and take it to the person that owns it. So let's get welded real quick.
I gotta roll my pocket. Let's go.
For reals? Yeah.
Give it to Coco.
Uh-huh.
Coco, you ready?
Hey, so we're clamped in place. I got the welder set at 100 amps. Jojo, go over by the swing, okay? I don't want you to get an owie. As far in there as I can reach with that electrode. You'll get a wire brush and a chipping hammer. Using a gasket scraper for a chipping hammer today. Brought to you by Cal Ranch. Sorry, not Cal Ranch, Craftsman. Brain fart. One more full electrode and we'll be good. Nice and hot. She will not go anywhere. Probably ugly. We'll see. Just for reference, I'm welding inside of angle there, so can't move a ton. And I'm just not that great, so don't have your standards set too high. Or set them super high and let me fail. Tell me the same thing my dad always said. You're a disappointment. Just kidding. Dad, if you're watching this, I always knew you thought I was a disappointment. So, there we go. I'm gonna wire brush that just a smidge, and then we'll throw some paint on it. I don't know if you can see it. It's for where it's at and what it is, I'm happy. And you should be too. So that's gonna cool for a smidge. We're going to get some paint on it. I'm gonna put the leads away, and we're gonna load this on the trailer. And I thank you for watching. If you want to see more about the amazing Bobcat 743, you're gonna have to subscribe. Click that button down there. And I mean you, and you, but mostly you.